Gayton McKenzie says that there's war in the ANC. I don't know how true is that. Looking at what is happening, it is reported that there are some ANC members who want the president out. Said to them, give me a date and I'll resign. President Cyril Ramaphosa responded to some unhappy members of the ANC and he says to them, give me the date and I'm gone. Yeah, ne? Gayton McKenzie said something very interesting about the war that is happening in the ANC. Sure, seems like the ANC is divided pretty much when it comes to the position of President Cyril Ramaphosa's leadership. Let us read this post here. SABC News reports on ANC. President Ramaphosa's defiant speech at the November 16, 2025 NEC meeting, where he urged critics to openly demand his resignation rather than gossip privately, offering to step down immediately if a date is set. Amid the Commission revelations on corruption, internal ANC dynamics, this challenge occurs as the party gears up for its National General Council in early December 2025, with the recent NWC election favoring Ramaphosa's allies like Nosiviwe Mapisa Ngakula, signaling efforts to consolidate power against a faction pushing for interim leadership opposed his term. Public and political echoes replies to the post overwhelmingly demand Ramaphosa's exit, citing economic wars and legal issues, while broader coverage highlights G20 pressures, advisor denials of resignation, rumors underscoring deepening parties fractures. So, seems like there are people within and without the ANC who are just calling for the president's head. They are saying that there is a group of ANC members who are talking by the wayside, who are talking secretly about the President Cyril Ramaphosa's position and his presidency, saying that the man now has so many things going around him and he needs to step out. So Ramaphosa has responded and called on the NEC to intervene, to say that if anyone has a problem with him, he must come and present their case to the NEC. What is happening in the ANC? So Fikile Mbalula responded with a caption and he said something very interesting. He said that Ramaphosa is not going anywhere. Ramaphosa is not going nowhere. The National General Council will take place in Soweto from 8 to 12 December with 1,600 delegates. But Fikile Mbalula insists the leadership election will only happen in 2027. Now, the removal of President Cyril Ramaphosa will create a problem. I'll agree with Gayton when he said that this will be war. Because remember that there is this grand collusion that the ANC has with the DA. Then if Ramaphosa is removed, then it means it is the collapse of the GNU. And the ANC cannot afford that. Since the ANC, they themselves, together with the likes of Gayton McKenzie, are in our partnership, they are scared of business. That when this partnership of the ANC and the DA collapses, they said they themselves that the economy will just plunge to the hole. Everything will just go down because the owners of this country will not appreciate it. Since the likes of Paul Mashatiles, Panyaza Lusufi, they don't want to hear anything coming from the DA. So we know that the person who sold out the ANC to the DA, it was none other than Fikile Mbalula himself. Look at the signature here. He's the one who gave everything to Helen Zille and Tony Leon. It was Fikile Mbalula who struck the deal. He is protecting the GNU because he is the grand beneficiary of that partnership that the ANC had struck with the DA. Does it make sense? That is why every time And the comrades within, the comrades without, even the civil society, when they call out for Ramaphosa's head, it is the SG of the ANC who comes boldly up front and defends the president. Ask yourself why. Why is always, all the time, everyone will keep quiet because they are scared, but Mbalula will just act upfrontly. Listen to this.
They say that Ramaphosa is going to leave, and I saw Pejani for the first time wrote a long article. I was laughing at it. Chief is going where? He will finish his term as the president of the ANC. And as members of the ANC, from where I'm sitting as Secretary General of the ANC, as a leader of our party, we are okay with Ramza, Pula Aine, Ya Ramaphosa, and it will, with our support as a collective. It's not leading alone, it's leading with us. And members now are invited to even make an input in that leadership in the General Council.
Even the elders of the ANC Zigalala slam the dark forces are pushing to oust Ramaphosa. Even the stalwarts of the ANC, they are coming in defense to President Ramaphosa. President Ramaphosa, we can't deny the fact that he's the most powerful ANC president. Now I agree with Ike. Now Ike said something very interesting, because Ramaphosa is the first president to make all his enemies to agree with him and to protect him. Giving jobs to his enemies, creating the GNU umbrella and putting everyone under that umbrella to protect him, and to just, they will do everything to protect even they themselves, just to keep those positions. Like what Gayton McKenzie is doing. We'll jump to Gayton just now. I want us to start here.
A departure lounge. I'm not sure what departure lounge that is, but as far as we are concerned, there is no departure lounge in the National Executive Committee. This National Executive Committee, with its president, was elected in December 2022. Our term ends in December 2027, and our term will end with President Cyril Ramaphosa as the president of the ANC, where he will then be handing over, if he doesn't, of course, decide to stand for a third term. That was that in jest. That was a joke. but to answer your question, there is no departure lounge. President Ramaphosa is the president of the ANC, and that his term ends in 2027 in the ANC. And that whatever other rumors that are there, we cannot speak to or verify for any other reason.
Something interesting that was said by Nongceba Mhlawuli says that there is no departure lounge until his term finishes in 2027. Says that the president is not going nowhere. So the NEC, those who are part of the top leadership in the ANC, are defending now this position of those members who are saying that the president must just resign. They are saying no, comrades, we must wait until 2027. President Cyril Ramaphosa is the first president that will finish his term without getting any disturbance. That's what he said. But I want now to talk about Nongceba. Nongceba said something very interesting, which was a hint, jokingly. She said she gives a hint about Ramaphosa's third term. Third term, have you ever heard about third term? Hey. Jokingly, she gives a hint about Ramaphosa's third term. Jokingly, I refuse if this was a joke, because Fikile Mbalula also, on the other video that I've done, in previous videos that I've done, I did play a video that Fikile Mbalula also once joked about Ramaphosa's third term. You know, I believe that President Ramaphosa is the first ANC president that has that leverage, privilege, that he can even run for the third term, even if the constitution does not allow it. But they will, you know, these guys are law breakers. They can bend the laws to favor them. They can use the courts to favor the president. They can use the media to support the president, to spread the idea until the people are bought. Right, because that's how they operate. Nothing bad is said about President Cyril Ramaphosa in all his shenanigans. Trump just dumped him publicly, just embarrassed him publicly, after promising him that he will come to the G20, but he never came. But you'll never hear anything bad said from Ramaphosa's aside. So the third term, there are members in the ANC who are benefiting from this ordeal that the ANC has with the DA. So they are benefiting big time, and they will even push him to go for the third term because they know that as long President Cyril Ramaphosa is there, allowing, taking all the likes of John Steenhuisen, the likes of Peter Groenewald, all those guys under his wings, they are protected. Everything is safe. Business is happy. That's how they're rolling now. Gayton McKenzie is so worried about what is happening. You can even hear in his spirit, his voice, his laugh is just faking now everything, right? He exclaimed that this is war, and this is worrying to the GNU. It has started. The change in South Africa, it has started, saying that that war is worrisome.
And Patriots, let me leave you with this thing tonight. I want you to know that it's war. The war has started. You already see even this, you saw what is happening there in the ANC. You can just check on the news. I'm told the president told them, give me the date that you want me to resign. Because apparently there's people in dark corners that wants the president to go, which that will be a massive mistake. That will be a massive mistake for them, but because we've turned the corner in South Africa, we've turned the corner. Listen to me when I tell you the rent. I had to pay somebody overseas today. Eugene was saying, no, that's not the amount. You forget the rent is so strong now. We've got the lowest inflation, record levels of inflation. In the third quarter, we've created close to 300,000 jobs. So the GNU is really taking the country up now. And don't believe me, listen to the foremost people that speaks about these issues in the country. So we did this all under the leadership of President Ramaphosa.
Says Gayton McKenzie. Because the likes of Gayton McKenzie, they know pretty much well that if this continues and it gains momentum, Cyril is ousted, then it means that it is the fall of the GNU. And the business will not appreciate that. Remember, the business will not appreciate, because the formation of the African National Congress and the DA, the Grand Coalition, it was called for by the business to say that partner with the DA, work together, then we'll support you guys and everything will be just good and pashasha for you. But looking at how things are rolling, now Ramaphosa becomes a threat, his position now. Because if he falls, the comrades are calling for his head, because it seems like Panyaza have gained some popularity. They call for the president's head. It means now it is worrisome to business. It is worrisome to those who are benefiting from the GNU positions, like the ministers, like John Steenhuisen and his cronies there. They are in trouble because they can be ousted. Gayton McKenzie himself, he's a beneficiary. Now he's worried that he can be ousted. All the blue lights can be gone just in a snippet of a second. So they are fearing now. They are scared that the ANC comrades are now shaking them, calling for Ramaphosa's head. They see that this entire thing will just collapse, right? So yeah, they will fight. They will fight not for this to happen. And Fikile Mbalula is the grand sellout. They will push him and they will deal with these comrades who are calling for the president's head. And those comrades are the ones who are going out, not President Cyril Ramaphosa. But remember when the issue of Phala Phala broke to the internet, Ramaphosa, it was said that he was planning to resign at night. And Fikile Mbalula was the one who went up front and just consoled him, had a meeting with him, and motivated him to say, no, continue to be the president because we are benefiting when we are there. He was the first person to stop Ramaphosa from resigning, right? But now he's the same person again who's coming now in the forefront to urge the public to say that Ramaphosa is going nowhere. Well, what's your take on this? You can leave it on the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to this political YouTube channel. Until we meet on the next video, and I'm out.